welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen, and today we're going to do a reading for Virgo. Let's call in spirit with some chime time. It's like kind of muffled. I feel like maybe somebody is disregarding external influence or kind of like tuning people out in some way. We're going to start with the Energy Oracle. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far, Virgo. I ate some of my favorite food today, some really good Thai food, so I'm happy. Alright, the first card that we have for you is the Sun. Oh, I just pulled this for someone else. The Sun is the happiest card in the deck, and in this particular deck, it's also the first card. And it's coming out with the first chakra, Archangel Michael. So that's about self-knowledge. Somebody is figuring out what makes them happy, and it might be a little bit of a surprise or like a departure from what other people are thinking, especially because of the impression I got off the wind chimes. But we'll get some additional information. We have the Angel of Balance. And the Door to Spirit. Some of you may have a tie to Egypt. There are pyramids in the background of the Angel of Balance card. And I'm also really drawn to the moon, so you may really enjoy, I don't know, like hanging out around the fire pit, outdoor activities at night, that kind of thing. But more importantly, somebody is paying more attention to their intuition, which may be playing a role in terms of being able to identify more clearly what makes you happy. And I don't know, there's something here that seems like we may see the world come out in the tarot, but with the Door to Spirit, feels like there's an end to one chapter and a beginning to a new chapter because of the change in intuition, whether that's paying closer attention to it or like a different message coming through. We're going to continue with the Edgar Allan Poe. If you ever catch me smiling after that, it's because I think of when I called it Edgar Allan Toe. Alright, what else do we have for Virgo? So we have Justice clarifying the Sun. So there's a situation here that has felt unfair or unjust, and it's being righted. There's some balancing of the scales happening, and it feels like it's a rapid event or a lot of change at once. There might be, changes at like the residence, job, love, friendship, whatever it is, but there's major change here. We also might see the Wheel of Fortune because it seems like there's a change for the better, right? Because somebody is paying closer attention to what they need to do to honor what they are meant to do or honor what makes them happy. So we have the Nine of Swords coming out sideways and the Four of Pentacles. There is a situation here pertaining to whoever I'm reading for, pertaining to your happiness that is causing both hope and sleepless nights. And with the Four of Pentacles, which is clarifying Angel of Balance, it pertains to somebody's healing or ability to maintain stability in their life. So there may be something that you or your person is kind of like worried about in terms of being able to maintain a balance. There may be something that you've identified that you need to do differently, or they have, however it resonates. But there's a concern here that makes this change not entirely just like hope. There's also I feel like kind of like a, can I make this change or can I sustain this change? Is this the right thing to maintain that stability that I've worked hard for? We have the Ace of Pentacles coming out, and I'm looking in particular at the row of books or like the bookcases in the background. This is coming out with the Eight of Cups. So there's a sense that a pretty major departure is tied to a new beginning. Walking away from one situation is going to enable somebody to kind of like, I don't know, I'm getting the sense of like a new build house, like fresh canvas, whatever you want to do with it, you know, like you're able to get rid of all the toxic shit from the old situation and really kind of like design whatever it is that makes sense for you, because there is an understanding again of what actually makes you happy, and kind of like a lower volume on the people that have been trying to influence how you should feel or how you should think about that. So with the skull guarding Edgar Allan Poe and also the Egyptian tarot, and because we had the pyramids come out with the Angel of Balance, I'm going to continue with the Egyptian tarot. So this is interesting because with the Egyptian tarot, there's a slightly different connotation with the Fool, which is the very first card in the tarot but marked number 0. And that slightly different connotation is that there's an element of punishment with a new beginning. But this is in the reverse and is coming out with the Ten of Wands in the reverse as well. This is clarifying justice and the Eight of Wands. So I think there's a lot of action and probably also a lot of conversation or planning leading up to that action that is bringing about better karma or a more peaceful situation, because somebody knows that if they want to have a new beginning, they have to have a different approach. It's like, I know that that path is going to result in punishment. It might look like a new path, but it's the same path with a different name. For some reason, I'm thinking about this town near where I live. They have like 8,000 streets, all of them starting with the letter I. If you're in the Twin Cities, maybe you know what I'm talking about. And it drives me crazy because it's like, really? Like, you want to make it harder for me to figure out where the fuck I'm going because all of them start with the same letter? Like, whose brilliant idea was that? I feel like that's where somebody's coming from. Like, I've figured out now why all of them seem similar. It's because it's the same bullshit. So I'm going to go for a different kind of new beginning, let go of the burdens that have been associated with those like fake new beginnings, and do something that actually makes me happy. We have the Eight of Wands in the reverse. And this is clarifying that Nine of Swords card that came out sideways. So there may be some concern here over a no contact situation, whether to block someone or unblock them, or whether or not to take action or at what point. There seems to be a lot of questions pertaining to like a timeline. I called it. There's the World. And first, or along with it, we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. So it feels to me like there's, because we're clarifying the Four of Pentacles, feminine energy involved in this situation that is struggling to let go and may be resorting to some kind of questionable tactics in order to get her way. This doesn't have to be a romantic tie. It could be somebody in your family, but we're dealing with somebody who doesn't really like hearing the answer no and feels like they should be able to kind of like force what it is that they want. They may have, you know, really been accustomed to getting their way, or they just feel like they have something that enables them to get their way. Maybe they're really like a smooth talker, really persuasive, or they're just like I had a friend in college who was used to getting her way by buying things for everybody, something along those lines. But with the world coming out, especially with it clarifying the Ace of Wands, I feel like there's this wall here that makes this Queen of Wands in the reverse much less effective than she used to be. Her tactics are rendered basically useless because there's an end of a chapter here. And that's what paves the way for this different kind of new beginning. We have the Six of Cups clarifying the Eight of Cups. Six of Chalices, technically, but this is all about walking away from the past. The things that in the past, whoever I'm reading for, you've learned this isn't what's going to make me happy. It might look like happiness, but I know it's not going to end up that way. I've seen this play. I know how it turns out, or, I know about the Titanic. I don't need to watch the movie to like figure out how it ends. That kind of thing. We're going to continue with the Marigold Tarot. If this is resonating for you, go ahead and give me a like or a subscribe. Or a comment. I like those too. All right. What else do we have for Virgo? We have Hidden Energy. If you're new to my channel, that's where it flips over but doesn't fall out. Of the Seven of Swords. Well, if there's going to be a card that's hidden, that makes a lot of sense. It's one of my least favorite cards. This is about deception or being dishonest in terms of like wearing a mask, right? Somebody here is doing something with bad intent or kind of like trying to sneak around. Sometimes this is about not letting people know what your next step is or feeling like you have to move in silence. And I feel like there is an element of that, but I think there's also a sense here that somebody wants to turn this new beginning into something that I think masculine would regret. It could be feminine, take it however it resonates. But I also feel like part of this sneakiness here is that there is more than one person involved. Ooh, that was hidden energy. That may come back out. We'll see. One of the individuals that may be like manipulative with information or outright dishonest is a masculine energy that may be kind of known for intellectualism or maybe even a little bit of like looking down your nose, condescension during conversation. And they could be an air sign, so that would be Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. But most importantly, I feel like there's this element of I have the truthiest truth. Like, you might have evidence on your side, but I still have some truth, and I'm not going to be persuaded by your shit. Like, there's a determination to stick to your guns on something. We have the Six of Wands clarifying the Fool in the reverse. There is victory here where people have predicted that you will fail. So you may be doing something kind of unconventional or against the grain. You may, for example, start a business or move somewhere where you don't know anyone or start an entirely new career, including like getting education or certification for it. There's something here that people are like, yeah, sure, no, go for it. I'm sure that's going to go real great. And then they're going to be all like salty because it's actually going to go really well for you. Because what they don't anticipate, or what they don't give you credit for, rather, is that when you decide that you want to do something, you're actually going to invest in it. I'm looking at the fact that these six wands are creating a really strong geometrical shape. So it's like, when I decide that I'm going to invest in something, I'm going to do my research, I'm going to plan, I'm going to have the right resources available, and that shit's going to do really well because I'm not going to just like half-ass it like a lot of you people do. But that's part of why I feel like there's this sense that whoever I'm reading for, there's like a distancing from some energies and bringing others in because you can sense these are the ones that don't want to support me in whatever it is that I want to build in my life, and these actually will support me. For the Ten of Wands in the reverse, we have the King of Wands in the reverse. There were situations or people that were preventing progress here, or maybe even creativity. There might have been a little bit of like writer's block for any of them that are actually like into writing or some sort of artistic expression. And I think at some point there was an awareness that I'm not able to do the actions or make the moves that I want to because of all of this noise and bullshit that isn't really my drama or my burdens to carry anyway. And an assessment of who do I actually want to be giving my time and effort to, and who should I be helping? Who's like basically worthy of that? Are these people just taking me for granted? And in that like internal battle or conversation, you found strength because you were able to basically recoup some of that energy or time into the things that actually make you happy. And especially because it's clarifying the Eight of Wands in the reverse, there's a sense that part of this is being able to kind of like cut conversation or even end communication with people that have been a little bit too quick to tell you how to live your life. We have the Four of Cups, kind of reiterating what I just said, rejecting the people that would be going against your creativity or your ability to execute on ideas that you have. Anybody that's creating instability, really. For hidden energy, we have the Eight of Cups in the reverse and the Ten of Cups in the reverse. This is clarifying the world. So I think, especially because this is coming out with the Four of Cups or after it, this is kind of like a warning. If you're not able to walk away from situations that don't serve you, there are blessings that can't really be delivered to you. If you look at it as, you don't really get the winning lottery ticket if you're going to be surrounded by family members or friends or lovers that are intent on stealing that from you because it's not meant for them, it's meant for you. When you show that you're ready to protect your own stability and livelihood by, creating a peaceful environment for yourself, then you get this new beginning. Then things start over. And I feel like that's already in progress for whoever I'm reading for. So I feel like it's really about, are you going to stay committed to that? Are you going to kind of hesitate because it feels a little bit uncomfortable? You just have to be able to push through it. It's like ripping off a Band-Aid, but like maybe like 18 of them. So we have the Eight of Swords. Again, didn't we already have that? No, we had the Dinosaurs. And the Page of Cups. So because we have the world being clarified by the Eight of Swords, it feels to me like part of what we need to take from this message, whoever this is for, is that it isn't necessarily a bad thing for you to be a little bit more private in terms of some of the things that are happening in your life. If you know there are people that would seek to destroy that stability that you've created for yourself. But there's also an end to you feeling like you don't have the mobility, you don't have the sight, you don't have the information. You're going to have a better understanding of the people and the things that are in your environment because you've been able to let go of the people that were seeking to confuse you, and because you're paying closer attention to your intuition. With the Page of Cups clarifying the Six of Cups and the Eight of Cups, there's a sense here that you are learning how to accept apologies, but also know that just because you forgive somebody doesn't mean you have to provide, ongoing access to that person. You can call that the end of the chapter or the book and still feel good about that. You don't have to be an asshole about it. You don't have to, stomp around and be, argumentative. There's a sense here that you can have closure in a variety of ways. You can be mature about it, but you know that in order to move forward, you have to be good at knowing when that forgiveness is actually like the last step or the last chapter. All right, we're going to continue with the Kipper. Seems for some reason to be the right move. We have adjudication in the reverse. Interesting because this is the same column that we had justice, but that was in the upright. This is clarifying Six of Wands. So if there's some sort of concern that you have regarding the legal system, this appears to be basically saying you're not going to have to worry about that. So if somebody is threatening like a restraining order or a lawsuit, or you know, you took something from me and I'm going to like take you to Judge Judy, whatever. This could be pertaining to a relationship because it's come out with the marriage card. This is clarifying the King of Wands in the reverse as well. So there could be somebody here who is trying to make it difficult for you to move forward with regards to love, especially because the marriage card is number 3. There might be somebody who felt like they were supposed to get something that they didn't. Ooh. Yeah. Unfortunately, the reason this person, well, how do I say this? Unfortunately, this person's motives were like screwy. Because we have toil and labor in the reverse and poverty. It's like they were thinking, I can shack up with somebody and not have to do the work. Because toil and labor is in the reverse. No, I'm just going to sit here and like paint my toenails a different color every 3 hours and you can do the work. Well, now this person finds himself trying to figure out how to make any money. They look like shell-shocked, like they really didn't think that this would happen. And with unexpected income in the reverse, it's either kind of like shocked them how much their life actually costs, or something that they thought would be theirs financially is not going to be theirs. So Page of Cups can have a connotation of like bad mental health, struggling to address trauma or depression. And here we have bad health clarifying that. So it feels to me like we have somebody here who is struggling with the reality of the situation and probably also with their own accountability in terms of what they did, the steps they took to actually, you know, create some of this drama for themselves. But for some of you, this is also somebody who is wishing a lot of ill on other people and that coming back on them in the form of confusion, paranoia, that kind of instability in terms of mental health, primarily because they were trying to send that to other people. All right, we're going to close out with the Zodiac fortune telling cards. You will be successful, carry through your ideas. So they can't stop you. Remember we had that Six of Wands? Don't trust too many people. This feels like a tie back to that Eight of Swords card. You might have success in multiple areas of your life that people would be really interested to hear about because they would like to poop in your punch bowl. Don't let them. If you broadcast everything on social media, maybe rethink that. Because there are people that are looking for ways to ruin your day. You have a few trustworthy friends and one unexpected enemy. So Virgo, there's somebody here that may be teaming up with somebody from your past that you've tried to cut from your life, and they may feel like they've both been slighted in some way. You're going to want to make sure that you're doing some sort of an audit. It sounds like you've already started that process, but don't give anybody a get out of jail free card. Everybody needs to demonstrate, not like you're, you know, the government or something, but if they aren't actually in your life to be a good influence in your life and they're not trustworthy, then they don't deserve to be there. So I hope that helps. I appreciate your support, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.